Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is March 4th, 2019. And ladies and gentlemen, in the very early hours this morning, a magnitude 4.6 struck just south of Edmonton, Canada, in the Alberta region. It caused a complete and total blackout in this area. Just about 1 hour ago, I was notified of this event by one of our followers and subscribers. I want to give a big shout out to Jessica. Jessica, thank you very much for the information. Folks, each and every morning, I go over all of the earthquake data for the entire globe. I did not see this earthquake appear on the USGS or any of my other earthquake data models. Very, very suspicious. If it was not for Jessica alerting me that this magnitude 4.6 struck in the community of Red Deer, I probably would have not found out about this. This is very, very unusual. Now, I'm going to go over some of the reports that she has forwarded to me. And once again, Jessica, thank you very, very much for the information. Now, folks, earthquakes, small, very, very small earthquakes, are not unusual for this area, but they are usually attributed to what they call, snowquakes, frozen quakes. That would be considered and due to ice melt. But folks, there is no ice melting in this region of Canada. That much I can guarantee you. And something's very, very strange about this, because there were a few other strange earthquakes just in the last few hours. There was a decently significant earthquake in West Virginia and another one in Texas. But let's get straight to this information related to Red Deer, Canada, near Edmonton. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. And we're going to go ahead and pull up the information that I have laid out. Now, right off the bat, some of the headlines that I found and some of the information that Jessica forwarded over to me, these are coming out of newspapers and online newspapers in Canada. All of a sudden, it seems like they were maybe trying to downplay this event. Jessica mentioned to me that there was some talk that this had to do with fracking. As I've mentioned before, folks, I was in the fracking industry here in southwestern Pennsylvania for 5 straight years. I went through very intense training, and a magnitude 4.6 earthquake related to fracking, and I don't care what anybody says, but a magnitude 4.6 related to fracking is really not true. Okay, I just don't buy any of that. But let's get down to this. This headline states, "Our whole house shook. 4.6 magnitude earthquake felt in Red Deer, Sylvan Lake." Now, let's go ahead and check this out. This report says a 4.6 magnitude earthquake was recorded in the Red Deer area Monday morning, according to Earthquake Canada. Seismic activity was recorded at about 5:55 a.m. Monday, around 35 kilometers northeast of Red Deer. The 1 kilometer deep earthquake was lightly felt in the Red Deer and Sylvan Lake regions. The last 4.0 magnitude earthquake reported in the region was March 31st, 1997. So again, like I said, folks, smaller earthquakes, they're really not a stranger to this area, but just coming out of nowhere, this is kind of significant in my thinking. So I was reading through some of the information, and they had some social media reactions to this earthquake, and these were tweets that were posted on Twitter. And this gentleman, Matt, states, "Sounds like I just experienced my first earthquake in Red Deer. Thought I was in a horror movie when my room started shaking in the black of the night. Yeah, that would definitely stir some people up. Blaine states that it appears the central Alberta has experienced an earthquake seismic event this morning at approximately 5:56 a.m., hearing that there is no power. Okay, so they had a complete power outage in this region. And by what the Natural Resources Department in Canada is stating, that this earthquake was only 1 kilometer deep, approximately 3 miles. So that's a very, very, very shallow quake. And this area, as far as I can see by looking at it on maps, it is relatively flat. Seems like there's a lot of farmland type area, and there are mountains off to the west of this location. And, we're going to look at this on the map, and, it's not that far away from the Yellowstone region. And that was a question that Jessica rose to me. Would this have anything to do with Yellowstone? I didn't see too much activity in Yellowstone. However, there were some smaller earthquakes that did pop up on the map, but nothing on the USGS popped up for this 4.6 magnitude earthquake. Iris, in her tweet right here, she states that, what the heck just happened? The whole house shook. Earthquake in Sylvan Lake, Alberta. Candace Putnam. So, an earthquake to kick off the week. And now, I guess, I'll shower in the dark. Well, the reason why she's showering in the dark, as I stated, they had a complete and total blackout. And that's very unusual that an earthquake of this magnitude would cause a blackout. But I'm still looking into this, and there is still a lot of information still coming in. Let's go ahead and check out this report. Same headline, magnitude 4.6, earthquake shakes homes in Red Deer, Sylvan Lake this morning. There's your little road sign. And again, it looks like a relatively flat area, except for the mountain region off to the west. Here was a tweet by Earthquakes in Canada, magnitude 4.6, March 4th, 5:55 p.m., 35 kilometers east-northeast of Red Deer, Alberta. And again, there was several more tweets, but getting down to the reactions of the people is what I thought was very, very interesting, because it seemed like, the government agencies, like they always do, they kind of downplay it, but the reaction from the actual people that lived through it, well, that's always totally different. And these people seem to be pretty damn shocked. We just read through this one. I believe Iris's comment was in the other report, so was Matt's. Here's one from a gentleman by the name of Nathan Lawrence. Well, that was one hell of an alarm clock this morning. Well, apparently this man was sleeping when this magnitude 4.6 earthquake woke his butt up. We read through that one. Here's one from Josh McDonald. How about that earthquake, eh? Practicing my Canadian accent there. Felt just like the trains rolling through town. Now, as I was looking at this area on the map, there are a few trains that kind of run in and around this area. So these folks are apparently used to these trains roaring through. I can attest to that, Josh. If you ever see this report, when I was a kid, my grandmother's house was located 25 feet away from a railroad track, and they used to come barreling through in the middle of the night, and yes, it would shake the entire house. So we're going to go ahead and check out this next update. Same thing here, folks. Update: earthquake in Sylvan Lake area leads to complete blackout. And this is very, very strange. Earthquakes of this magnitude, they really, really don't have anything to do with blackouts. So I'm going to try to do a little bit more digging and find out what exactly occurred to cause a complete loss of power. This is a young lady by the name of Sam Borsato, and she states in her tweet, from my pops in Sylvan Lake. Apparently, I guess she's referring to her dad. We may have had an earthquake here this morning. Power went out and the house just shook like an explosion. The power is on now, but everyone in town is freaking out. Felt out to Lacombe and East Red Deer. So that's a magnitude 4.6, and apparently everyone in this region felt this earthquake. Again, here is another news article about it. These are all Canadian, Alberta Canadian tabloids. And we're going to shoot right over here into the Natural Resources Department for the country of Canada. And, you know, I was looking at all of the information here. It is very, very sparse. This gives you the location of Red Deer, but the map, you know, you can't click on it and zoom into it or anything of that nature. And again, the depth of this earthquake was only 1 kilometer. Very, very shallow quake. And again, you think that this would be in reference to an ice quake. But they're still under a deep freeze in this area, stretching all the way down into the central part of the United States. And again, folks, if you remember my last couple of live streams, I've been touching on this weather factor. And just yesterday, devastation in the South, as I was talking about the very, very high possibility of tornado activity through the South, specifically Alabama and Georgia. Well, folks, lo and behold, less than 24 hours of me making that statement, total devastation in that region. And as of the last report that I'm getting coming in, approximately 23 people, including children, have lost their lives. And this is what I've been talking about over and over and over again. You know, we can continue to do our research and make our observations in relation to Planet X. But ladies and gentlemen, we're far past that now. We know the existence of this object. We've been talking about it for years. Actually, people have been talking about it and researching it for decades. The cat is out of the bag. Now we are faced with the results of our findings. And that is that this object is definitely causing significant problems out there with our sun, and in return causing these issues here on Earth. And the fact of the matter is, folks, like I said the other day, it is going to continue to get worse as time goes on. And this tornado activity in the South was just absolutely devastating. I'm going to have a full report on that early this evening coming up. I was going to be doing a live stream, but it seems that YouTube's live stream feature is completely out of whack. It's down. You cannot live stream onto YouTube at the moment. But let's go ahead and jump out of here. And let me show you the actual location on Google Maps. So I have Red Deer laid out, but I'm going to go ahead and back out of here a little bit. And this shows you the region where this earthquake occurred, right where the pin drop is. You can see the mountain region here, but this area is, it's relatively flat. I would call it semi-rural. We're going to go ahead and zoom in here and check out the very nice community of Red Deer. I was looking into it. Seems like a very, very nice place. And here you go. Here's Red Deer. And if you zoom in, you could see these are pretty much lots of what looks to be, farmland, a relatively flat area. And as for the actual location, I was trying to pinpoint it using their coordinates. And let me just go ahead and find. It had the coordinates somewhere between the community or the town of Clive and Haines. Somewhere right within here. But a magnitude 4.6 around here in this area affecting the whole community of Red Deer seems a little off. Other coordinate information that I was looking at was placing the earthquake somewhere right along here. There's a pretty big bend in this river right here, and the epicenter point was somewhere right over here. Yes, now if the epicenter was somewhere right over here, that would definitely have an effect. So without the USGS reporting on this, and I find that very, very hard to believe that they have not posted any data, none, zero, zilch, nothing on this earthquake. I find it very, very hard to believe. If you don't believe me, here you go. I'm going to go ahead and expand this because we have several new earthquakes that have already occurred just in the matter of the last 15 minutes. As I mentioned earlier, right here in West Virginia, a mild magnitude 2.6. But what's just occurred right here? A magnitude 4.6, 57 kilometers north of Dove Creek, Colorado. And some activity right up here. Oh, that's Old Faithful Geyser, magnitude 3.3 in Wyoming. Well, this just may have something to do with the seismic activity right south of Edmonton in this community of Red Deer. As you can see, it's almost damn near a straight line. There's no faults in this area. I looked. There's no faults that I know of. The majority of the earthquake activity that they have up at this area is related to ice melt. But folks, the ice is not melting in this region. I mean, they are in very, very, very cold temperatures. So again, we're going to go ahead and dig into this a little bit more. If any of you Canadians up there in either Calgary, Edmonton, or anywhere in that area, if you have additional information on this, get back to me at Planet X News. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm very easy to find. Send me a message on Planet X News on Facebook. Let me know what you're finding out because I'm very, very interested in knowing what happened and why they had a complete blackout in that community. There was a little bit of a larger earthquake, I believe, over in the South Pacific, Papua New Guinea. A lot of earthquake activity happening as of lately, folks. This was magnitude 5.9. They probably have downgraded this. You can see there were sporadic earthquakes that occurred just before this 5.9. And I'm going to go ahead and jump all the way out here and spread this map. There was an earthquake way up here also, magnitude 4.6, deep into Russia. A lot of activity in Alaska over the course of the last 14 days. So it seems all of a sudden earthquake activity is on the uptick worldwide. But this occurrence in Red Deer, Canada is very, very strange. Very, very strange. I was looking at another earthquake map, and let's go ahead and open this up. And here we have the earthquake for Old Faithful, magnitude 3.32, 31 minutes ago. And there seems to be a few quakes here in this Dove Creek area. Let me see if I could get on top of this. This may be a duplicate earthquake. Yeah, there seems to be two. Sometimes they're so close to each other. This is as far as I could zoom in. So we have a magnitude 5.3, 25 minutes ago, Dove Creek, Colorado, and a magnitude 4.6. This could just be one earthquake, folks, and two different readings from two different seismic devices. Let's check and see. Okay, this 4.6 was a USGS feed. And this was a USGS feed. Depth only 0.75 3/4 of a kilometer, and this one 0.7. Okay, this may be something not so right with their monitors. I'd have to go with the larger quake here of a magnitude 5.3. Let's see if they update some of this information over the course of the next hour. Knowing the USGS, folks, they'll probably downgrade it. What do we got going on down here? 12 hours ago, magnitude 4.8, South Sandwich Islands. More activity on the west coast of South America. Pisco, Peru, magnitude 4.5. More activity in the very southern region of Mexico, magnitude 4.2. We looked at this earthquake, magnitude 4.4, Sandpoint, Alaska. Yeah, you could definitely see there's some quakes brewing. Some very, very small quakes in the state of Washington. These were the two quakes that I was looking at earlier before we looked at the Old Faithful geyser quake. But these were very, very small. Magnitude 1.87. Helena 1.38. Really nothing to write home about. And we looked at this earthquake way down here in Papua New Guinea, magnitude 5.9. When I looked at that earthquake hours ago, it showed up as a magnitude 6.1, but they just downgrade them. And again, we looked at this earthquake up in Russia, magnitude 4.9. This earthquake here in southern West Virginia, this is kind of strange. Magnitude 2.61. Now, they do a lot of fracking in this state of West Virginia. I've been down in these areas on big drilling jobs, specifically just around this area of Beckley. And this may possibly have to do with fracking. Smaller earthquakes, folks, I could see the fracking factor, but not what just happened up in the Alberta region of Canada. Not a magnitude 4.6. So again, folks, stick with me. Later on this afternoon, probably around 6, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to have a full report on the tornado activity in the South. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching. And ladies and gentlemen, please like and share our videos. It's time that we get the word out. Take care, folks. Be safe out there.